make sure that works. Okay, sweet. While that's loading, yeah, so let me share with you guys the Facebook group. So we are 1,800 members and growing. So if you guys want to join, make sure you fill out the questions. So if I look at some pending approvals right now,
those are pending posts.
member requests. Yeah, so you guys are a little quick. So Dennis, you're a little quick, man. Let me decline you. Do it again. Fill out the questions for us. If you guys could please fill out the questions, we greatly appreciate it. That just lets us filter, the bots out, all that good stuff. So if you're not answering the questions, we don't know you're a real person. We don't know you're going to spam, the loans you're giving people or anything like that. So please fill out the questions. We have tons of resources for you guys. So most of you know this, I've said it so many times, but check out the files. We have a purchase and sale agreement, a wholesale contract, $3,000 worth of value that you guys can have absolutely free. We have letter of intent templates, estimating repair cost PDF. We have an underwriting calculator and so much more. Check out the files tab on our Facebook group too. And then, yeah, we have tons of sub 2 students that are members. Jerry Norton's in here. So any type of person you're looking for anywhere across the country, we probably have them in our group as well too. So great place to stay connected with us. We'll always post the Zoom links in there, always post updates about what we're doing and how we can joint venture with you. So make sure you guys are in the Facebook group. Yeah. So Tony, this is your second Zoom. Make sure you guys join the Facebook group. And then like Rachel said, if you guys want to watch some of our past Zooms, make sure you go to the YouTube channel. That is right here. It's the Angie Milanazzo and team YouTube channel. I just dropped a link to that in the chat. So if you guys want to go there, we're live right now. 2 people watching on YouTube. But yeah, we've called agents live. We've sent LOIs. We've negotiated. We've underwritten deals, comped properties, walked sellers through contracts. So make sure you guys check out the YouTube channel. And she just changed all the posts to it too. So that's super cool. He's in there. I believe he's in there. Maybe he left. Maybe we were too cool for him. Nope, there he is. Big Jerry. He's in there. All right, guys. But yeah, we wanted to go over a deal that we just closed on not too long ago. Is my boy JR in here? I don't know if he's in here. Oh, he's in here. What's up, JR?
I'm just getting set up.
Okay, no worries, man. Yeah, I'll get started and I'll ask you some questions, all right? Oh, did not even do that. Okay, sweet. So I'm hoping I can share this address with you guys. It wouldn't be that cool to see without the address. So I believe it's 2419 Linden Street in Oakland, California. Yeah.
Really quick, do we want to answer one quick question before we dive into this? We have a hand raised.
Oh, Keon, what up, bro? You got a question? You're on mute. You're on mute. There you go.
Yeah, well, it was pertaining more to like my progress. So I had like submitted a lot of deals. Let's just say like 20 deals, and there was only like one LOI submitted. So I just wanted to really talk about that. So I don't.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Do you mind if we talk about that at the end, Keon?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's not a problem.
Okay, for sure. Thanks, man. All right, guys. All right, so this is a property in Oakland, California. So just to show you guys like a real life deal, this is probably one of the top 3 toughest deals we've ever done, but we finally got it done. So wanted to share with you guys what it looks like to wholesale a deal, right? It's not always you get it under contract, you find your buyer, you close. I would say 90% of the time, there's always some type of hurdle you have to overcome. 10% of the time you do have those easy deals where, right, like you maybe made 5 phone calls, you got it under contract, you found your buyer right away, you got your asking fee, but that's probably 10% of the time. There's always something that can go wrong. So This is a single family home in Oakland, California. If you guys know anything about Oakland, it is not the nicest area in California. But this property was actually fully renovated. So our seller and his ex-wife, his now ex-wife, I believe bought this home and they were going to fix and flip it. They were going to, renovate it, do an addition, and then sell it back on the market, which they did. And then, yeah, JR, if you want to maybe tell me more, go back to day one, how did you find this deal? What was your initial conversation like? Tell me what you know about this deal.
Right. Yeah. Hello, everybody. My name is JR. I'm in the San Francisco Bay Area market, like Dylan said. And I really run my business in the cracks of my time. And I'm at my W-2 right now, my lunch hour. That's where I run my business. So I got this deal off. I list stacked. I believe it was divorce and vacant and lienless. That's how I got the this property. It kind of shrunk it down to about 50 properties. So that with that, I put out a mailing campaign and This particular seller owner, he called me back and he gave me the rundown on his situation with this property. And he just told me that him and like Dylan said earlier, him and his wife, they're investors in Napa, California. That's a little bit about, I'll say 45 minutes away from Oakland. They bought this property as an investment. The property was originally a 2-bedroom, 1 bath, and they put money into it. They got a contractor to make it a 4-bedroom, 2 bath. The problem with the property, which caused the lien, was the contractor they hired didn't pull any permits. So they put renters in there. They had renters in there for a while, and they got the renters out, and now it's time to sell the property. So they got a lot of people and a lot of interest because it was a fully renovated property. So they had an FHA buyer come in. FHA buyer, in order for them to get approved for the FHA loan, they have to get an inspection. Inspectors came in and noticed that this property wasn't actually a 4-2. It's actually, a 2-bedroom, 1 bath. So,
and JR, real quick, so you cross-referenced liens with vacant properties, and that's how you found it. What was it?
Divorce.
And divorce. So you cross-reference all 3 of those lists. So vacant, lien, some type of lien or judgment, and divorce. What software did you use to do that?
I use PropStream with that. Yeah.
Okay, good. Okay, so PropStream. Do you still have PropStream?
I still use it. Yeah.
Okay, great. Yeah, I would say too, Privy's great, but PropStream is going to have a lot more filters. So if you guys are really serious, PropStream is going to have more data. You can cross-reference lists like that, right? So high equity, owned it for 20 years, owns 5 or more properties, right? That's a type of filter I would use for a tired landlord. But this is you're just finding the most distressed homeowners possible with vacant, divorce, liens, right? It's they want to sell it. So, okay, keep going, man. And then, so they did fix and flip it. You said they put it on the market. FHA buyer came in and got their inspection. And what happened next?
So they got the inspection. They said, I can't loan you money on this. So the owners, the actual people that put the investment together, they say, I want to fix this problem, so they want to go back to the city and see what does it take to correct this problem of my contractor not getting the right liens. The city gave them a timeline and more so a price of how to fix this. And it was basically, long story short, they couldn't, it was out of their realm of doing that. So I came along, he told me all this stuff and I said, hey, I can offer you a cash offer. But the only problem was when I did put it under contract, it was originally a cash wholesale deal assignment.
Mm-hmm.
And the only problem was the feedback I was getting from end buyers is the price is that we can't do it because of the risk, because it's a potential risk that the whole addition had to be torn down. And, if the city brings an inspector in, he could, put on a white glove and it's this is wrong, just finding right about the property. So there's a major risk in that. So they had to come in at a price that was lower than what the owner's his mortgage was. Right. So that's when I reached out to you.
And that's when you reached out to me. Yeah. So, and then just to reiterate, right? So this couple essentially they built a $250,000 addition on the home. They put another 2 bedrooms and a bathroom and pulled no permits. Their contractor pulled no permits. I don't know if they knew that, what was going on. I'm not sure if this is true or not too. I think maybe the seller told us this, that his ex-wife, now ex-wife, was cheating on him with that contractor who didn't pull permits. So this deal is crazy from the beginning.
Yeah, and it's perfect timing because it is October and it's like the Halloween season. This was a haunted house because a lot of stuff in and out of this house. I tried to contact the contractor just to try to see what his plans were, so maybe we can get an engineer and go off his plans. Got a hold of the contractor. He said, "You know what? I didn't even do this house," and hung up on me. So it was just a lot going.
Of course, yeah. So right, like they somehow the city never found out. They got all the way done with the project, listed it, and then the FHA buyer, which if they were smart, they would have went with like maybe a conventional offer, but they picked FHA, and that sent all the red flags to the city. They figured out, hey, this wasn't permitted, right? So they might have, I don't know, maybe gotten away with it on a conventional offer. Who knows? But yeah, FHA, they're a lot more stringent on their inspections. So yeah, and then I'm not sure what the time frame was. When did they do the flip? Was it in 2019?
I believe it was 2019 or 2018. I'm not sure exactly. Yeah.
Okay. And they've had this home since then, right? So they're the most highly motivated sellers, right? Like nasty divorce, all this stuff going on with the property. And it was very nasty. They were not on speaking terms. Right. They were suing each other constantly for alimony and child support, all that stuff. So it was tough to work with them, but through their divorce decree, they did get it finalized. The seller, the husband, was granted all the power to sell the property. The wife was still on the loan. She was quit claimed off the home, but she was still on the loan. But she was given a document that clears it from her debt to income. So if she wanted to go get a loan, she would just show this document, hey, I'm no longer responsible for the payments, my husband is, and it would clear her from the debt. So, and then, yeah, that's when JR reached out to me after he's like, showed it to multiple buyers. I think he owed $495. He'd also gone through a forbearance period as well. So he owed $495. We thought at the time that this was maybe in the ARV of 750,000, give or take. It could be more, it could be less, but still, if we sold it at, let's say, 530, right? They spend $200,000 fighting the city, getting it renovated, right? So they would have lost money probably. They needed to buy it at a cash price of probably close to 400.
Exactly.
Yeah. So very tough deal. I typically what I'll do is like show you guys email threads of like when we started this deal. So let me see like how far I can go back without showing too much. But yeah, okay. So I'm looking at my email. JR, we signed a joint venture agreement in March. In March 1st of 2023. And JR's had this property under contract since December. So December, January, February, March is when he hit me up. So this property literally almost took a year to get closed. So we locked it up. We offered the seller, I think like $20K, take over his mortgage. And then, we were trying to add our fee in there. Right. Same thing. Like no buyer wanted to touch this with a 10-foot pole. There's no clear exit strategy unless you're going to flip it. So like long story short, essentially we marketed this property from March, kept adding amends to extend the closing date. We constantly tried to call the city, who I guess the city of Oakland only works 2 days out of the week, to really figure out what the process looks like to get this permitted. And I swear to you guys, the city inspector I talked to said, you should not buy this property. You should run from this. And he's like, I will tell every single person that keeps calling me about this house to run from it. You should not buy this. Yeah. He told you that same thing, right? Yeah.
And it's the part about that is like to get a hold of him. It's like so hard to get a hold of the city for some reason. Luckily, I have family members that work in the city that actually knocked on his door into his office and said, hey, my relative is trying to get a hold of you. And that's when I got a hold of him, and like, we actually had a conversation. So yeah.
Yeah. I remember I had to like send an email to his boss or something like, hey, tell this guy to give me a call. So he finally did. And yeah, I mean, everything he said was like, these guys are screwed. They built $250,000 worth of work with no permits. That no bank will touch this. No investor will touch this, right? Like unless so what we had thought, what we were looking for, we maybe guessed that there was 5 potential buyers out there, and these buyers had to have been doing fix and flips on a large scale. They have to have crews ready. They have to have architects and engineers that they work with and that also know the city of Oakland code very well. So we were like trying to find a needle in a haystack. Still, no one wanted to touch it. You showed it how many times? 20 times to different people?
Those a few, yeah.
Yeah. So nightmare deal so far. We have a map in our office too. You can see it behind Joey. Out of pin. You can see it behind Joey. We have pins everywhere that we have deals. A white pin means we have an under contract. We even have red pins for deals that have failed. At one point, I had taken that white pin out and put a red pin in because I was just done with this. I gave up on it. It
was one particular time where I was scheduled to show this property to an end buyer, and I scheduled, say for instance, I scheduled it on a Monday, and the showing will be on Tuesday. And I'm not so where I work right now. I'm not so far from the property, so I checked to make sure the lockbox was there. And I checked on Monday. Then the following day, when it comes time to show the property to my end buyer, the lockbox is gone. I'm locked out the property. I can't. My end buyers are on the way. Hey, we're coming from like about Fairfield's about 2 hours, about an hour away. We're coming. This property's still available, so I had to tell them how far are you away, because you might have to turn around because I can't access the property. I said, well, we're only 15 minutes away. We want to come anyway. So what happened was, like Dylan said earlier, the ex-wife and the husband, they weren't on good terms. So what she did, she came, she took the lockbox, because she is actually a realtor. She took the lockbox and didn't notify anybody. So I had to kind of work my way around that, like talking to the end buyer, explaining why, kind of looking in the window. Okay, it's nice. If you look this window, you can see the property from the outside. But it was a big hurdle, this property.
And it keeps going too. Okay. So long story short, essentially we found our buyer through Facebook. And I wouldn't even say it was an experienced real estate investor. So I think I could say their name. Their name was Karaoke, was this person's name, our buyer. So, we obviously had to do a lot of vetting to make sure they were a real person. They knew what they were doing. I had multiple conversations with her, and I told her multiple times, hey, I like this. She knew what was going on. There's a $250,000 addition. The city has a lien on it that is maybe accruing interest. They won't tell us. Like, you have to talk to the financing department's auntie's cousin's dog's son to figure out what's going on with this lien. So I told her there's a lien on it. It's accruing interest. The city inspector told me to run from this property. I don't think you should buy this. I literally told this woman that. There's so many red flags with this, but she wanted it to live in it. She was going to house hack. And then in the meantime, I don't know what she does for a W-2. Where me and JR guess she made a decent amount of money, but she was going to house hack in the meantime, figure out how to get the permanent issue solved. So, I mean, not a bad exit strategy. She's going to live in it, has a primary. It's a beautiful home. She's going to rent it out, which it's not red tagged, so she can rent it out. Help her pay the monthly mortgage. In the meantime, figure out what she needs to do to get it permitted. And she picked it up at a great price. I mean, she bought it from us for $520. And yeah, the ARV as it sits is $750, but you just have to get it permitted. Oh no, we stopped recording.
Dill, is this the deal you had to turn into a private investigator on?
No, that was another deal.
Let's go over that one too.
Dylan, hit the
Yeah.
record again, because Rachel had to jump off and she was recording.
Okay. So we're still live. We're still live streaming on YouTube.
You're good.
I don't see a record button. But we're
Top
still
left.
live on YouTube. I think we're good, Don. I think we're still live on YouTube.
Well, as we wait, I have
Oh, there we go. What was that, JR?
As we wait, I have another story about the property.
Yeah, sure.
So after the wife taking the lockbox, she and I explained to the end buyers what happened, and we looked at the property. That following night, I had another schedule for a buyer to come in, but I still didn't have access to the property because the owner, he lived like 2 hours away. He didn't want to drive down. So I said, what do you want to do with this one? He said, I can call a locksmith. So call the locksmith. I went home and then I said, hey, just call me when the locksmith actually is at the property. He called me. It was about like 10 o'clock at night. So I got up, came back to the property. The locksmith, maybe he was a new locksmith, but he didn't have like it looked kind of suspect. He had the white unmarked van and he was like, didn't have a uniform on, but we were 10 o'clock at night trying to get this property open because I got, mom had the seller on the phone, like, hey, is it okay for us to do this? He said, yes, you have my, blessings to do this, but we're trying to get inside the property. And I don't know, the locksmith, he was maybe new, like I said, he was having a little bit of trouble. So we're banging, he's banging on it, trying to get the property open, and just didn't look right. And luckily we got the property open. We got a new set of keys. And the next day I, showed it off to the end buyer, and it's like, yeah, that was another story to add to the,
Right.
this.
Right. And like, what's your schedule, JR? Like, how many hours a week are you working?
Well, I work for another city close to Oakland, and I work 40 hours a week, and I'm from here from 7 o'clock to 4 p.m.
Okay.
And
you have a family too, right? Like you have kids.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so real estate's like what you want to do, right? Full time. You want to get into real estate full time, but right, you have all this time and commitment. Like, what does your schedule look like now? I see you go to meetups all the time. Like, are you still making phone calls? Do you have a virtual assistant? What does that look like for you now?
So what it looks like for me, a day, I wake up a little earlier and I stack my list. I'm making lists. I'm stacking my list and skip tracing all in the morning. And in preparation for now, like my lunch hour, I have a lunch hour of around 11 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. I'm calling, or I'm writing letters, or, I have now, since I've done a few deals, my nephews, my 17-year-old, 18-year-old nephews, they're getting kind of excited. So they're like, what can we do, Uncle? What can we do? So now they're quote unquote doing a text campaign for me. So
Love it, man.
they're texting for me and I'm doing that, and just having my phone near me. So when I don't have a CRM yet, I'm getting one. But when calls come in, luckily I'm blessed that the job I do, I can stop and take a phone call without any disruption. But I'm taking phone calls or whatever, any inbound I'm taking. And yeah, and on the weekends, I'm dedicating to, showing properties, or after work, I'm scheduling to show properties within the vicinity. So I can just go there really quickly and going to meetups, and yeah, just trying to get it to where, this is actually.
I love it, man. I love it. Yeah. So full-time job, family, right? And you're still hustling, still going to meetups, still trying to do the thing. So you're employing your family. I love that. That's a great idea. I haven't thought about that, but yeah, like if you guys have any high schoolers, lazy college kids in your family, right? Like show them what you're doing, right? Hey, I wholesale, I invest in real estate. If you guys want to, learn how to build passive wealth so that way you don't have to have a 9 to 5 the rest of your life. You guys want to come into my office and see what we do. Like, that's a great way to do it. So, just wanted to share your story, JR, with everybody that has a 9 to 5 or that has a family and is super busy, right? Like, if you want it bad enough, you will make it work. It's everybody's got stuff going on, you just got to want it bad enough. If you don't want to take your lunch break and make phone calls, if you don't want to spend your weekends showing houses, driving for dollars, right? Like, sincerely, you probably don't want it that bad. And I hope that pisses some of you guys off. Like, you don't know what my schedule looks like. Like, you can complain about it or you can do it. So I love it, JR. So, okay, back to this story. So karaoke, we told her every red flag that there was. And she said, no, I still want it. But she said, I only have $30,000 and that's to pay all the closing costs, the seller, us. So, Neil, at this point, maybe I shouldn't say his name, that's our seller. He was done with it, right? He doesn't want to keep paying this $3,500 a month payment. He hates this. He's just blowing money. So He said, I'll take nothing, no money down if you can make sure I don't make this next payment.
Right.
So he agreed to it. Closing costs in California are pretty expensive. I think they were close to $10,000 on this property. So she paid the closing costs. And then JR and us split the rest. And yeah, and then even after that, we're still dealing with issues. The wife sees someone named Karaoke who just paid her loan and decides to call her attorney and call the bank and say, hey, this is fraud. Someone named Karaoke is in my bank account. So I called her.
The wife, before she even called, you actually explained to her what's going on.
Exactly. Yeah. I had spoken to the wife too beforehand. She was just not willing to do anything. She really hated this guy. She would rather it go to foreclosure than make sure this guy like helps himself in any way. And sure, there's two sides of the story. Who knows what happened, but yeah, she just seemed really vindictive. So yeah, we finally got that deal closed. It took literally 10 months to get that one closed. Was that your first deal that closed, JR, or your second or your third?
That was my first deal in California.
Okay.
My few deals were virtual, but that was my first one. That's why I had like different people say, hey, you don't want to be married to this deal so much, but this one was my first one in California, my backyard.
Yeah. And that's a good point too. Like a bad deal is worse than no deal because you'll spend 10 months pulling your hair out and wasting your time. So like I said, I literally put a red pin. I gave up on it. And that's when Carrie, she kept DMing me like, hey, I still want this house. Like, what's going on? I'm like, you don't want this house, I promise you. But she wanted it, so it's hers now. And even on our assignments, we disclosed everything. We made sure, we're not liable. We disclosed everything. What's going on as much as we know. So, but love it, man. So yeah, for the rest of the Zoom, that's what we want to do is kind of go over, like how to find your guys' first deal, right? So some of you guys have Privy, some of you have PropStream, some of you have nothing. Maybe you just have a car, you have your phone, right? You don't need much. A good software program like PropStream, Privy, Deal Machine, Batch, those are great to have because you can start pulling data and start targeting things. But driving for dollars, foreclosures, getting records from the county or from title companies is another great way to do it. So that's kind of what we want to go over today. So are you in here, Jake? Do you want to show like Deal Machine? Yeah. Okay. So we want to show you guys just another software that we use. I think it's maybe $70 a month. So we're not affiliated. We're not selling it to you, but just want to show you guys. What's that? Oh, okay. Let's see. Let me find you. Will you unmute? Say something.
Perfect. How's it going, guys? How are you guys doing today?
All right, sorry guys, 1 second. Let me find where's Jake at. Is your camera on?
Program slow.
Okay, I found you. Okay, make co-host. So yeah, we just want to show you guys Deal Machine. So like, some of you guys, I think a lot of you guys have Privy. Privy's okay for finding deals. I don't want to crap on it, but there are better softwares out there. They might be more expensive, but the value you get from them is going to be a lot better. So Deal Machine is about $70 a month, Jake. $79 a month. Again, we're not affiliated yet. Maybe we can get affiliated, but this is, a better way to maybe virtually drive for dollars. If you guys want to go out of your own hometown, you can click on a property. You can hit skip trace and get that owner's phone number and call them right there. So I'll let Jake knows more. I'm going to let him show it to you guys.
Yeah, guys. So here's Deal Machine. You guys got a specific area you guys want to look in right now? Want to give me a zip code, Dylan? So what you do is you're going to put your zip code in on your map. It's going to give you your whole layout of your zip code, and you're going to click drive in the corner. What this allows you to do is once you hit this drive button, you can click on any road that you want to start. I'm gonna start right here on Pecos and 72nd. Let me grab a property real quick. I hit start driving. What this allows me to do is it allows me to virtually go through and actually drive for dollars without, wasting gas. I know gas prices are expensive right now, so you guys probably don't want to drive. I can go through, I know my route. I'm never double crossing something. I'm going through and I'm looking for the most distressed property. I know it's a little bit different for Dylan and Joey. For me, I look for cash. So I go through and I look at every house, what's distressed. If I see any holes in the roofs anywhere, do I see like this? This is a big sign for me to go and add that as a lead. So I'm gonna go right in front of it. I'm gonna go to this house. I'm gonna click on it. Oh, let's see. And I'm gonna hit add lead in the corner. What this allows me to do, now it goes into my pipeline. I can see everything about it. I can see the owner right off the bat, the address. I could go through, I could skip trace it. I can get the loan amount, what they owe. 77% equity. This is what I look for on cash deals. Anything above 60, there's a deal there for me. So what this allows you to do is not, add the same house twice to your lead list. I'm getting tracked in the corner. Like I know exactly my route and what I did. So I added that one. Let's, for example, I didn't go through. I'm just looking for the most distressed property in the neighborhood. I'll take this one. Like I like this one. There's a lot of cars outside. This is stuff I look for too. Add lead. And then when I end my drive, I'm actually able to see where I went and what leads I added. So I added 2 leads from this drive and I drove 0.2 of a mile, right? Everything's tracked for you guys. You know how many leads. It's giving you on point analytics. And I could see the route I drove as well. So that's, the general introduction of Deal Machine and how it works and how you guys are able to do that. I think driving for dollars works best if you guys are looking for cash deals, something more of, low equity. If you guys are pulling lists like that, you definitely need a program like PropStream. And I recommend PropStream over that. So you guys get the same numbers that we do. Every platform has different data. So if you guys were using Deal Machine to pull, mortgage data, it's definitely going to come back from what we could see it at. So that's why we recommend PropStream for low equity. Deal Machine's more of, a cash platform for cash wholesalers. And I'm actually able to see, hey, I have a distressed this area, and I know exactly where I got it and how long it took me to grab that lead. So yeah, that's a little bit of an introduction on Deal Machine. If you guys have any more questions on it too, you could always send me a message. Hey, how do I do this? I'm super familiar with the platform. I've been using it for about 1.5 years, off and on. You're allowed to send mailers too. But those are all direct approaches for cash, right? You just got to pick what criteria you want to follow. And if you want to do creative, that's another avenue. If you want to do cash, that's another avenue. So multiple ways to do this and get some deals going for you guys. But yeah, love Deal Machine. If you guys want to drive for dollars and not waste gas, Deal Machine is where to go.
All right. And then, so, and again, guys, we're not trying to sell you these products. We're just letting you know what's out there, right? This is how JR found his deal, is by using these types of softwares to cross-reference data. So whether you guys want to virtually drive for dollars or actually drive for dollars, Deal Machine is a great way to do that. If Colorado doesn't have a ton of distressed homes, but if you're in Indiana, Ohio, right, Texas, I'm sure there's distressed homes, parts of Dallas. Driving for dollars is a great way. I guarantee if you do it consistently for a few months, a deal will come from it. So just want to show you guys that. And then Joey's going to give you guys a presentation on PropStream, not a presentation, but just show you guys how we find deals on PropStream as well for low equity subject to, and then maybe even like tired landlords and vacant properties as well too. So go for it.
Yeah, I'm just going to show you the best way to find a low equity deal, which is mainly what we do. Me and Dylan, we just focus strictly on low equity sub twos on market. Let me share my screen. You got to give me a help just real quick. I'll show you the wrong way to do it and the right way. Because me and Dylan really didn't know what we were doing 3 years ago. We just kind of wasted, 200-300 phone calls a day. Can you see my screen now?
It wasn't wasted, Joey. You guys were learning. It wasn't wasted.
Yeah, well, I mean, we learned, but we're showing you guys this so you don't have to do the mistakes we made. So here's where we messed up, right? What I did was, okay, I'm just gonna go to, we were looking for high price homes, and we were like, oh, let's Airbnb these for $1,500 a night, right? And pitch them 0 down, 0% interest, right? 1,500 properties, and I just go one by one, spending 13 cents a lead, and trying to call every single one of them, right? Oh, this one's great, right? No, that is not how you want to do this. Here's what I'm about to show you on this filters. That's got to be worth 100 grand. All right, 80% LTV. See these residential, single family or multifamily, 3-bed, 2-bath or more, listing 550 or less, and it's an individual owner, corporate, mixed, or a trust. 80% loan to value. That's the kicker right there. You want to make sure, right? They're listed for 400 and they owe 380, 370, 360. That they don't actually have 50 grand of equity, right? You got to times that by 0.9 because in America it usually takes 8 to 11% to sell your property on market. So with the 50 grand they thought they had isn't actually 50 grand. They got to pay the agents, 6% on average, another 2, 3, 4% in closing costs, and all of a sudden they're writing the bank a check for 5 grand. So this filter right here, I promise you, will make you a lot in wholesale fees. Remaining balance 500,000 or less. We just do that because the more expensive homes are just harder to sell, right? Once your payment goes over 3 grand, unless it's a sweet short-term rental, which not a lot of people are doing anymore, it's really not a good property that you want to lock up. Conventional FHA, VA, and then right here, 4.5% or less. Once we get in the 5s, 6s, 7s, it's not a deal, right? I'll just go to the bank and grab a loan instead of trying to convince the seller to subject to it. So this right here, this filter is money. It is, I'm telling you. Here, let's just go look up. It's Colorado Springs with my filter. Boom, 31 properties. That's a lot better than 15,000 properties. And then here's where people get messed up, right? Because PropStream isn't always correct. Batchleach isn't always 100% right. So here's where you have to do a little bit of due diligence. Now let's look at this one. So it says they have 72 grand of equity. But before I even make a call, just because PropStream tells me it's low equity, okay, they owe 423 and they're listed for 490. What I'll then do is take that MLS price, 490, and I times it by 0.9 because I'm going to take 10% out of there. That's what I'm doing. And that gives me 441. So I know that's what they're going to make. 441 minus 423, they got about 20 grand that they're going to walk away with. And the home price is 423 grand. I know this is one I can probably call. They don't have that much equity. I could try to beat them by 5, 6, 7 grand, offer them like 25 grand, offer the agent 10, that's 35, and I still have, another 12 grand to assign it. Now here's where people mess up is just because PropStream tells you it's got a certain amount. Let's try to find a bad one. Okay, they owe 385, listed for 435. I'm trying to find a worse one. What I'm trying to show you is okay, right here. They owe 475 and they're selling for 395. Now they're actually going to walk away with a little bit of money, right? It tells me, PropStream tells me, they don't have much equity, but when I do the math, okay, they're going to still walk away with like 50 grand. I don't want to call this one. They're probably going to tell me to buzz off, right? And I don't want to beat their price by 5, 10 grand when I'm already over 10% of our entry. That's what you want to be at, 10%. So if I lock this property up for 410, I know I can try to assign it for a $41,000 entry. Because that's usually what all your buyers want to be at on subject twos is a 10% entry. Now, when we're buying it, we want to be, 3 to 5% entry. And anytime we can get it at that, that's usually when we'll keep it. But I'm telling you, this filter is just way to go. Here, let's check Boise, Idaho. Okay, only 2 properties. Still, I know I can find any place in any state, and I'll find myself something low equity, and I'll have something to call at all times. Now you got to be warned. There is a lot of competition, right? When you call these people, you're gonna get, you're the 31st person to pitch me subject to, which we get that on every single deal that we call, but we've done it hundreds and hundreds of times, and we know how to answer every single objection. And that's why we tell you guys, send your deals in. If they tell you you're the 40th person to call me, just be like, okay, that's fine. How about I just send you a letter of intent? One of my partners will give you a call and we'll go from there. Send your deal in. We'll put the letter of intent, answer every single objection that they've had. Because I don't think we've closed one deal where the agent or the seller had not heard a subject to. People are just pitching it everywhere now. But yeah, I mean, that's pretty much it. If you want to just find great on market low equity. Now, for the same thing off market, we have failed. So just look at the ones who we're trying to sell, right? And PropStream is not always right. Sometimes it'll tell you they were listed in 2018 and it counts as an expired listing. That's where you got to do your due diligence. And that's why sometimes if you sent in a deal and you're like, hey, why haven't these guys put an LOI yet? Well, maybe because they probably have 180 grand of equity, right? And there was nowhere in there did you say they were interested in something creative. So that's why you got to do your due diligence and make sure you're actually finding actual low equity on market. Here's the tough thing about Colorado. I'm gonna try to find one in Denver. Fit loads, like only 2. And you could search every other city in Colorado, and it's literally Springs and Denver is the only place you're gonna find something low equity in this state. And that's why we do most of our deals out of this state. Let's check Mesa. And in Arizona, I promise you, every single agent will tell you you're the 100th person who's pitched them subject to. But see, this is where it gets tricky. When it tells you negative equity, you always have to verify that. See, it's not actually. And that's when people get caught up. They're like, oh, I got 48 leads to call and they're all low equity. But you didn't actually click into the property and do the math. And you're like, actually, no, that guy has 190 grand equity. He's probably going to tell you to buzz it off. But yeah, I recommend PropStream. I mean, a little biased because this is one we use all the time. I mean, batch leads will do the same thing. But I mean, if you're looking to get into being a real estate investor, I just think you need one of these tools. If not, join the team. We'll send you a list and help you close that deal. But if you're trying to do this, without a team, you need one of these tools or you're just going to be lost. But yeah, if you got any questions about PropStream, go ahead and holler. But that's pretty much all I got. But I'm telling you, this filter that I just showed you is worth 100 grand. I think somebody's got their hand raised.
Jacqueline asked how you double check that.
Say that again. I can't see the comments. It's all.
It says double.
How do I double check equity? Okay, I'll just do it on this one right here. Holmes Ave. Okay. They owe 360. They're listed on the MLS 410. So what I will do is take 410, the MLS price, and I'll times it by 0.9. I always times that MLS price by 0.9. And first I get that number. So I got 410 times 0.9 gives me 369. And they owe 360. So, light bulb. I know this is probably going to be a sweet deal. They're only going to make 8 or 9 grand on market. So I'll come in and say, I'll give you 15 and I'll pay your agent 2%. Then I know I can go assign that for, whatever, the market says. But look at that. That's the kicker right there. 3.22. Awesome interest rate. I don't like it's FHA, but still awesome interest rate. And they're only going to make 8 grand on market. When I see there's that discrepancy of the small amount they're going to make on market, I give that agent or the seller a call right away. So I hope that helps answer your question about how to double check equity. No matter what, you just go in, MLS 509 times that by 0.9. If you see it's a small number, it's usually only 10, 20 grand over what they owe, you know it's a good low equity on market. This one's not good. I can already just see it off the bat. 509 times 0.9 gives me 458, and they only owe 413. So they're gonna make 40 something grand. I don't want to put over 40 grand down on this. I want to assign this for just a 40 grand entry. So I know this one's probably a waste of my time. Now, if you see it's been listed for, 300 days, then maybe it might be worth it, right? Then we'll say, hey, we'll just give them 20 grand and they walk away, or maybe do a hybrid deal. But anytime they have over 10% equity, 10%, I mean, is your entry fee is going to be over 10% of your purchase price. I don't call it. Honestly, there's so many other properties to call that I don't want to waste my time trying to convince these people who have, 60, 70 grand of equity to take my offer where I give them 10 down and they carry the rest. Now, I'm not saying it doesn't work, because we have had deals where we put like 10 grand down and they carried us 100 grand. So I'm not saying it doesn't work, but that's usually when they've been listed for, 100, 200 days and they can't get it sold. But no, this filter is just, it's money, it kicks ass. So yeah, if you got any more questions, let me know. Stop sharing. Let's see.
Well, someone's posted a deal and asked if that was a good deal.
Would you say would be a good deal? 90K equity, purchase price between 340 and 360K. Rate 6%. I gotta tell you right now, I don't like that 6%. Anytime it goes over 4.5% on the interest rate, I don't even touch it. Right? Because some banks are giving people, if they bring a good enough down payment, they're giving them a 6%, 6.5, 6.25. So if the bank can give me the same thing, I don't want to take over a 6%. Maybe if it's like a $50,000 house and the rent still makes sense, then I'll do it. But no, we just don't touch anything over 4.5. We've done a 5 before, but I mean, it just takes forever to find a buyer for that. Everybody wants these 2s, 3s, and 4s, in which we are picking up 2s, 3s, and 4s all the time. So why waste our time on these high interest rates where people can just go grab a bank loan? I'd rather grab these awesome interest rates like these 2.7s and 3s. But yeah, PropStream. I recommend PropStream. I think you could do the same thing with Batch. But I just love the way PropStream flows. It's just the filters, it's way easier. It's awesome.
Sweet. Yeah, someone said, why not filter out the interest rate? We do filter out the interest rate. We just look for 4.5 or below. Matt's going to meet his first seller in person. Right on, Matt. Go get him. Yolanda says, how many properties do you want the average seller to have? Do you stay away if they have a lot of properties? Absolutely not, Yolanda. I think that's a better seller because they have, more products you could buy potentially, right? So one of my favorite filters on PropStream or Privy works as well for this one too, is the tired landlord. So I'm looking for individual owners, right? I don't want corporations. I don't want LLCs. I'm looking for individual owners. 1 second, guys. Will you answer this? This is the lady that's going to look at the Texas house. So I want single family homes, individual owners. I don't want corporate, mixed, trust, none of that. Individual, right? So I know it's a real person. I want them to own at least 3 or 5 or 10 properties. Change that filter to see how many leads you get. And I'll show it to you guys here too. So this is one of my favorite filters. It's a tired landlord list, and the more properties they have, the better. So if I go to clear all filter, I'm looking for non-owner occupied. It can be vacant, occupied, it doesn't matter. Property characteristics, I want a single family house, residential. You can get picky with like a 3-bed, 2-bath minimum, MLS status. I don't want it to be on the market. I'm going to go to ownership info, and I want the owner to be individual, years of ownership. So this is, you can change this. Let's see if they have 10 years of ownership minimum, right? I want them to have owned this property for a while, and let's see if they owe 5 or more properties. And then you can also add if they have mortgage info, all that good stuff. So I filtered that list. Let's just do Cleveland, Ohio. Gotta find someone and mute them. I don't know where that person's at. Hey, will you guys check if your mic's not muted? If it's not muted, please mute it. Okay, so 445 properties. Hey, Debbie Williams, I can't find you to mute you, but will you turn your mic off, please? Someone help me. Okay, sweet. So 445, right? Like these are all tired landlords. These are people that own a portfolio of homes. So if I click on this first one, I can hit linked properties, right? They have 6 linked properties. They've owned them for 8 years, 16 years, 19 years, 38 years, 14 years, right? So this to me seems like a tired landlord. So I could skip trace this person, right? Frederick Thomas is his name. And say, hey, Frederick, my name's Dylan. I'm a local investor, or one of my favorite lines is, hey, Frederick, I'm another annoying person giving you a call about some of the properties you own. Because he's been getting properties for the past probably 10 years on these properties. Just seeing if you're ever looking to sell anything, if you're looking to buy anything too, these are investors that own real estate. So these also might be your potential buyers as well. So just another good filter to look at. Like JR said, another good filter is we can look at Cleveland, Ohio. Let's look at liens. And then I can also go to divorce status. I could target has a divorce, right? So boom, here's 2 properties with liens going through a divorce in Cleveland, Ohio. Okay, so just good list to cross-reference and find more distressed and motivated sellers that way as well too. Okay, sweet. Jane, you've had your hand raised for so long. You're very patient. Do you have a question about finding your first deal?
Okay, no, this is regarding the Oakland property that you were discussing.
Okay.
You said the wife complained to the attorney regarding the loan that is. How do you handle, or are we done with it, or do we have anything to do afterwards after we sell the property to the end buyer?
Yeah, I still want to make sure that the deal doesn't just completely fall apart for my seller, my buyer, right? Like I just wouldn't be able to sleep with myself if I just blocked everybody after I got my assignment fee and moved on. So yeah, the buyer was sending me text messages that she was getting from the wife saying this is fraud, this is whatever. So I called the ex-wife and explained to her what's going on and said, hey, it's probably not a good idea for you to call the lender and say that something fraudulent is going on because your name's on the loan, right? The buyer, she might get the house, she might have lost 30,000, but you'll get foreclosed on, right? So it doesn't benefit you. It doesn't benefit your husband, doesn't benefit anyone for you to call the lender. And that's when I told her I'd recommend you actually, if you want to do something about it, hire an attorney, talk to your ex-husband, but he had the full right to sell the property and this is how he sold it. So, and so far things have been smooth. So
well, she signed this up too, right? It's on her name.
she didn't, she's not on the deed. So she's just on the note. So she didn't have to sign the substitute. She knew what was going on, but still, yeah, just wants to cause issues.
So do you have to get permission when you do that? At least inform her that this is what's going to happen, or you can just
so the seller, the husband, right, has a divorce decree that shows he has the full ownership and ability and power of attorney to sell this home, rent it out, do whatever he wants to do. So that document alone allows us to just then work with the husband.
If you didn't have that, then at least you have to mention to her and get her okay and something in writing, or just?
If she was on the deed, yes. If she was on the deed, yes. But if she's just on the mortgage, no.
Okay, thank you.
And that being said too, she had a document clearing her from the mortgage anyway. So that's also why it's like, why would you care if someone else is paying your mortgage? As long as it's being paid, right? You should be happy typically, but teach
No.
their own. But yeah, good question.
Just in case she wants to buy another property or something, this is a debt on her name, right? This is.
But that document, she can show that to a lender and it will clear it from her debt to income.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Tony, yeah, man. I think no worries. Tony has Privy, is an Alpha Gator, has 2 LLCs, wants to have anyone getting rolling on any market. Yeah, Tony, if you're open to like JV deals with us, for sure, you could post your number, sure. When using PropStream, include vacant land under property classification, vacant land, residential vacant land, general underwriting property type. That will include new homes that haven't been updated on the county's website. Oh yeah, good idea, Athena. Yeah, that's I have heard that too. So like when you're looking at low equity deals, look at vacant land as well, because yeah, the county probably hasn't updated those yet, but it will still show their mortgage, all that good stuff. So I like that as well. Okay, sweet. And then yeah, I didn't get the chance to, but I wanted to shout out my boy JR. So yeah, if any of you guys, I'm going to drop JR's link in the chat. So if any of you guys are in the California market, or just want to hit up JR and know more about his story, I just dropped his link in the chat. If you click that link, that will take you to like his business card, and you can hit him up there. And JR's social medias are right here too. So yeah, go follow JR on Instagram, TikTok, hit up his link. Especially if you're in the California market, you should be going to meetups, meeting investors, all that good stuff. So I think we are going to call it there. Hopefully you guys learned something. I also saw real quick, I saw a lot of questions about like, well, I just got Privy from the Elephant Challenge, and now you guys are telling me to get something else. You don't have to buy these softwares. We're just wanted to show you guys, like, if you really want it that bad, if you're serious, right? Like you're going to have to invest into some programs. The reason Pace promoted Privy is because it's a good software, but because it's not that expensive, right? I think it used to be $50 a month and now it's a little bit more, but PropStream is going to be a couple $100 a month, maybe $150 a month. Deal Machines, $80 a month, right? So we prefer those platforms over Privy. Privy is great for finding buyers and comping properties, but if you want to find leads, I would recommend those other properties or other programs. Lynn says, newbie question. Okay, not talking about angry exes, but if a seller has that doc that releases the DTI, does everyone else who does sub 2 get that doc? No, that was from their divorce decree, Lynn. So if they had gone through a divorce, then one of the spouses took over the mortgage payments and took over the responsibility, they will file that paper that says, hey, we clear her of any ability to make these payments. So stay on your credit, help your credit and stuff too. And Lynn, you're very close. Like, so if after 12 months, when we buy a property subject to, after 12 months, they can prove to a lending underwriter, hey, someone else has been making these payments, it will clear it from your debt to income. So it's very similar, right? Instead of waiting 12 months, right? She just has this document that says she's no longer responsible for the mortgage. So the sub 2, so the husband is technically still responsible for the loan. He knows that. He doesn't plan on buying a house, but after 12 months of my buyer making payments, it will also remove that debt from his debt to income as well. So yeah, good question. All right, guys. Well, sweet. Yeah, hopefully you guys learned something today. Hopefully we can help you, find your first deal. If you guys like the Zoom, again, make sure you guys tap into the Facebook group. Let's see. We have joint venture forms. So if you guys are out there finding deals and you're not sure how to get it to the next stage, we have JV forms. You can submit leads to us. If you already have a deal under contract, we will help you dispo it and find a buyer. So tons of resources in the Facebook. Make sure you guys go check it out. Mike, yeah, we always use servicing. Right on. Glad you guys liked it. Okay, sweet. And then last but not least, I'm going to do a selfish plug. Go follow your boy on Instagram. This is this is my Instagram. If you guys could go drop a follow on the road to 1,000 followers. Thanks, Stevie. I appreciate it.
I took that goat picture down there, Dylan, when you're kissing the goat.
Yeah, Dom took this picture actually. It's a great picture. Right on. All right, guys. Yeah, thanks so much for showing up.
Q will call you.
Yeah, Q will call you. We're thinking about actually driving for dollars live next Tuesday. We're not sure about the logistics of it yet. We have to figure out how we'll do it and if we'll make phone calls doing it live. But just want to show you guys what driving for dollars, looking for properties, calling the sellers, right? Having those conversations looks like. We just want to find a good area with, you know, like some foreclosures, vacants, liens, and go and drive for dollars and try to call those sellers. So Stevie just posted everyone's Instagram in the chat. If you guys want to go follow the team, type in our @, our usernames right there. In the meantime, have a good weekend. We will see you guys next Tuesday. Any questions, make sure you go to the Facebook group or hit up Rachel. And we appreciate you beautiful folks. Peace. We'll see you guys.